Hello, I'm Jo Linsdell and this is a video exclusive for Jo van der Meulen. Now I recently had the pleasure of being interviewed by Jo for her Blog Talk radio show. If you missed the live event, then you can of course listen to the archived file. Basically during the interview we got chatting about virtual book tours, and unfortunately because of time restraints there were a lot more questions than there was time to answer them. So today I'm going to be doing this video where I'm going to be filling you in about what virtual book tours are, how they work, and answering some of the frequently asked questions that come out. So now let's start by taking a closer look at what virtual book tours actually are and how they work. So what is a virtual book tour? Now basically a virtual book tour involves you visiting lots of different sites where you'll be hosted. Now these could be websites, blogs, they could even be social media sites. So you could do, for example, a wall chat on Facebook or a live interview on Twitter. You can also do radio interviews, podcasts and things like that as well. So basically variety and things like that, but it all takes place on the internet. Now this means you save a lot of time and money because you don't have any travel expenses and things like that, and you can do it all from the comfort of your own home. Now, should you wait until your book is released before starting a virtual book tour? Simple answer, yes, you should wait. Now a lot of people start tours pre-release in the hope that they'll drum up some interest and create a buzz when it actually does come to their final launch day. From experience, it's not really worth the effort. You're much better promoting a book that is available so that you can include a call to action in your post. Now, the reason why I say this is because internet, people on the internet, they want instant results. And they'll get all a buzz about the book from reading your post, and then when they get to the end of it, they'll realize that they can't actually buy the book yet. And chances are they won't remember to buy it later when it does come out. So it's best to wait until you actually have the book available, and then in your post or in your byline for the post, depending what kind of thing it is, you can then include a call to action to get them to actually purchase a copy of your book, and you'll find that you actually get much better results. So how do you go about organising a virtual book tour? Now a lot of authors have the issue, they're like, but I don't know anybody, I don't have this huge network created already. It's not a problem. Now there's a lot of virtual book tour companies around on the internet, so if you really don't feel up to it, then obviously you can pay for their services and they will organise the tour for you. Obviously you'll have to still supply the content for the tour, so you'll have to write guest posts and answer interview questions and things like that, but they'll actually package the whole tour together and help you promote it as well. Now, if you're a frugal type like myself, then you'll organise the tour yourself. Again, it's not really a problem if you don't know anybody, because obviously you want to organise a tour which is going to target your target audience. So as nice as it is, and it does help beef out a tour, if you can ask people that you know from your network to host you. There's no point in being hosted on the site of someone that has absolutely no connection with your book. You want to target the audience. So in the case of my children's picture book, which is out and about the zoo, obviously my target audience is children, parents, grandparents, that kind of thing. So a lot of the sites that I targeted are related to parenting. Now, during my radio interview with Jo, one of the questions that came up was about the sort of content that you use during a virtual book tour. Now, although there are a lot of people out there who reuse the same content during your tour, chances are that's not going to get you good results. If you want to get the best results, which I'm sure you do, then you're going to have to put the work in, I'm afraid. It's as simple as that. And basically, as you should be picking, like I said earlier, sites which capture your target audience, you also want to tailor your posts on each site to suit that particular readership. Examples of this. Now, for my Out and About at the Zoo tour, obviously it's a children's picture book. So I was targeting parenting sites and that kind of thing. So if I did an article for them, then maybe I'd give tips about the sort of things they can do for a day out at the zoo, which is obviously connected to the book, but it's tailored towards their audience. On writers' sites where I did guest posts, they were more the sort of posts where I was talking about how to write a children's book, or about self-publishing, because I self-published Out and About at the Zoo. And so the posts there were tailored towards that audience. Now, I'm still capturing my target audience. I'm still talking about my book, because obviously you get the byline to it. But with a guest post, you want to add value to the audience that's going to read it. And you'll find that by doing that, by offering a benefit to that particular reader and tailoring your content to that particular site, you'll get a lot better results. And also, search engines do not like duplicated content. So you may find that if you use the same guest post on all of the stops of your tour, that you actually do more damage to your promotional efforts than if you were to do a little bit of extra work and do a tailored post for each one. How long should a virtual book tour last? Now, I laugh here because I'm actually in the middle of doing a 3-month-long mammoth tour. But don't panic, it's not the usual way that things work. Normally when I do a virtual book tour, it'll last a week, maybe 2 weeks, and at the most a month. I got a little bit adventurous this time and got a bit carried away and decided to do a mammoth tour, which though is having extremely good results. So basically you have to sort of analyse the amount of time that you can put aside to do the tour, because obviously you have to dedicate time to creating the content for each of your posts. You need to make sure that you have slots. So if you're going to do any live events like wall chats on Facebook or radio interviews and things like that, you need to make sure that you're organised to be able to do that as well. So really, the length of the tour is completely up to you. It will depend on how much time and effort you're willing to put into the process. But don't panic, 3 months is not the normal. So when should you start planning your virtual book tour? Now, as I'm a bit of a marketing junkie as well as being an author and illustrator, I actually start thinking about my tour when I'm working on the book still. So even before I have the finished project, I'm already putting together a few notes and things for possible guest posts that I could do, and things like that connected with the book, so that when the book's actually finished, it's a lot easier to run through. I also, during that time, if I come across any websites or blogs and things that I think would be a good audience for when the book comes out, then I tend to bookmark them on my computer, so that I have them there as an easy reference when I actually come to putting the tour together. So, when you're organising a virtual book tour, what kind of tools and information should you put together to help you? Now, the first thing that springs to mind is to have a media kit. Now, this can be something that you add to as the tour goes on, and I'll explain why. Now, basically, for the media kit, you want to insert a nice cover of your book. You also want to have a nice author picture included in there. You'll want all the details about your book, so where it's available for purchase, the ISBN, the release date for the book, and for example a link to your website as well maybe. You'll also want to include a brief bio about yourself as an author. You may actually want to include various different bios. So you have a shorter version and then maybe a longer, more complete version as well. Obviously, that's up to you. You may want to include also a few frequently asked questions about yourself, your writing experience, and obviously the book that you're promoting. You'll definitely want to include reviews that you've received for the book as well. Now, this is probably one of the most important things to include. Now, basically, what you'll do with this media kit is you'll use it to hook people when you're sending out requests to be hosted. Because obviously it's much better if you supply the host with as much information as possible. They'll be able to get a better idea about the sort of thing that you're going to be talking about or writing about in your post. They'll have all the information there. It also makes it a lot easier, for example, for stops where you're doing a book spotlight, which is basically just where the host pins up some information about the book, which is usually they'll put the cover art for it, they'll put the link to where it can be purchased and all the purchasing details, and maybe include a short book blurb and an author bio for you. Now, in these cases, all the information that they need is already included in the media kit, which means that you get an instant stop. Now, this is a great thing, both for saving you time and effort, but also for them as well, because it means as soon as you have that initial contact, if they agree to it, they can take all the information that they want directly from the media kit to copy and paste and program into their blog for the date that it should be posting. You then only have to worry about promoting the actual stop. So it's a win-win for everybody. If you'd like an example of a virtual book tour, then check out my website, which is jolinsdell.com, and you'll find full details of my current virtual book tour for my children's picture book, Out and About at the Zoo, which is already an Amazon bestseller in various different categories. I'd just like to finish up today by giving a big thank you to Jo for hosting me on her site. And if any of you have any questions that I've not covered in this video, then feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you.